Hello, in this video I want to share with you my experience for unlocking my phone. I actually tried like 1,000 times with automated trials to unlock my 4-pin locked phone. So let's start. Starting with the story of the phone lock, in 10th of April this year, we had a long vacation, it's like 1 week. So the next day I decided to lock the phone with a random PIN number, and yes, it was an irrational decision. I thought that I can maybe remember the PIN number later, as like it's removed from the short-term memory, but it's in some way will be retained in the long term. But yeah, it was an irrational decision. And the next day I started guessing manually and got like over 700 trials with my bare hands with no success. After several weeks, WhatsApp web kicked me out and I couldn't continue my work properly. Also, my friend Aziz warned me that my WhatsApp account could removed, or I have to re-authenticate with an SMS, and that was hurting. Yeah, so I started the journey of hacking my own phone. So I started by manual trials, and thankfully Infinix allows trial of one trial each 30 seconds. So I started by remembering some criteria, like the third digit is either 3 or 6. I was pretty sure of this. The first one is not 3 nor 6, second is not 3 nor 6, the first is, I think it's 1, 2, 4 or 5, and the list continues with those criteria. So I tried to prioritize the possibilities, and later on I've just made a spreadsheet here with columns for each of these criteria, and have some weight for it, like 300 for being the third number being 3, or 50 if it's 6, etc. And then I have prioritized the list, and you can see here the orange is that I think that I have checked this manually. The white is it means that I did not yet, and the list continues. So that was like manual tracking for the issue. So I've prioritized the possibilities and manually trying more than 700 possibility. You can see here some of the choices that I have already tried, and when I look at this, it's a random number at the end. And you can see here the list continues with manual trials. But yes, it is an error-prone process, and I was not so confident with my own implementation. The manual trials was not trustworthy, and it was time-consuming. You can't actually divide your attention between your work and the manual trials, and I was enforced to unlock my phone, but couldn't continue with this manual work. And also there is no logs, so I can't ensure what I have did before. Even my tracking was manual, so it's also error prone. So this is the snapshot for the tracking, and the automation comes to the front, and I have all the reason to automate this process. So there was several ideas, like getting into the bootloader mode, but actually my phone was encrypted, and we couldn't do anything here. Maybe do a robotic arm to just click the pins, and other ideas we got, like doing an OTG mouse and OTG keyboard, and then we came to an open source project where they turned out the ESP to a USB keyboard and mouse, and there's a YouTube tutorial here. So here's the system we came out with, that we just implement some Python code to talk with the ESP, and through the OTG cable it implements a keyboard. Then we can close the loop of the system by capturing some snapshots and analyze them with Python. You can see here the open source project have an user interface here, and you can actually try with your own hands, like doing some keyboard manipulation here. From the computer you can control the mobile phone. So I have started by open loop design. It was a first shot with no feedback, and it actually was not reliable. The open loop design was starting with a list of possibilities. I have started by pickling the possibilities, and with Python I've used WebSockets to connect the ESP, and it was so time sensitive application because there's no feedback, so I was like sleeping for 1 second between each jump between numbers until I reached the edit bar and then entering the numbers. And then I just got a screenshot and stored it for later manual monitoring. And it was not reliable at all because there was many sources of unreliability, like the ESP32 was hanging out. Also the signal between the OTG, the ESP and the mobile phone was lagging for some reason, and also the OTG cable itself was lossy. So it's not reliable, time-based actions, and sensitive for any lag, and there was a high failure rate. But it was good for testing, and starting with the WebSocket with an open loop was better than starting with computer vision, but I was not lucky with this shot. So we've continued to the closed loop design because I want the system to be reliable. I have 10,000 choices. At the worst case, I have to loop through them, so I have to get some feedback, logs and snapshots. So the closed loop design was to get a snapshot and analyze it with OpenCV to take the next decision on each step. So now actions have feedback, and the system is more immune to the random lags, and system can take decision based on the feedback. But computer vision can be a nightmare, where you have lots of parameters you have to handle, and you have to get a stable image. Otherwise you have to handle lots of randomness in your images. So image stability is important, and you can't easily actually make a fast implementation in computer vision. So going to the automated trials, I have to establish a stable place for the mobile phone connected to the OTG, to the ESP, to the computer, and connecting the webcam also to the computer. And I have to make the place as dark as I can. So you can see here like some output of the code here. You have here some gray images, and here we got some contours around the numbers. And I still was doing manual tracking for progress. So each day in the morning I was checking the folders. I was getting lots of snapshots to check the reliability. So I get a snapshot when I reach the edit bar, I get a snapshot when I reach the number 1, because you can't simply just type your pin code like 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to navigate through the numpad with tab. So you do shift tab, shift tab, shift tab, shift tab, going from 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you reach the edit bar. And I was taking a snapshot when I reached 1, a snapshot when I reached the edit bar, and a snapshot when I started entering the first, second, third, and fourth number, and a snapshot after a test. And later on in the project, I was doing a feedback loop when I encounter an error. So I got the snapshot to the errors folder. And after like 7,000 automated trials, and you can imagine some randomness in the system, and I still don't understand the reason of it. For example, here's the folder after test, so you can see after the test you have still one single number entered and then not the other. And in this folder where I assume that I'm on number 1, so for some reason there's some snapshots where I still on number 7 or on number 4. So I was excited to find out any results, and in one day I navigate through the after press 3 folder and scrolling down thousands of snapshots to see this. Yeah, and we was happy. Ending this with some lessons, like my memory was manipulated, and I was strongly thinking that the third number was 3, but it's actually not the third number, it's the fourth number, and it was 6, not 3. But the others was pretty correct, but I didn't benefit from this. Actually, I did 7,000 automated trial, but if I just started from 0000 until 9999, then I have to do like less than a half of what I have did. I was uncertain about something that maybe the Infinix company made the system like it's after several trials you are already locked, but you can continue trying. So I was uncertain about this, and the fear of failure was killing me. And actually I was thankful for my friends with their high quality expertise for giving the ideas and their support for this project. Actually, I have found that I had many projects with lack of motivation, but this one I was forced to do it. So the motivation challenges was clear here, because they are the driver for the actions. Because really I would never attempt such a project if I was not forced to do it. And so maybe a recommendation for me and for any programmer who don't like hardware, try Arduino and ESP and hardware projects, because you might need them along your way. More lessons in system design. Human manual work is the base, don't underestimate. Actually, I was doing the feedback loop. Part of the feedback loop was manual, and it was good enough. I was watching the logs each day and checking that everything is going good. And yes, prefer closed loop system always for reliability. Open loop is just a proof of concept or just a trial. Logs are essential, and you cannot trust a system with no logs. You have to monitor, you have to always, there's the manual monitoring is important. Also, as it's a hacking and a brute force approach on a random number, so prioritizing was theoretically good, but as it's actually a random choice, so there is no priority. But I thought that if I have spent more time on prioritizing my chances, then I could get better results. And documentation is an accomplishment. So it's not only the code or opening the unlocked phone, but the documentation itself is an accomplishment. And I wish that I have documented more during the process. More lessons that for DigitSpin is insecure. Yeah, and as you can see, I've opened my phone, and any 4-pin locked phone with 30 seconds space between each trial is openable with this way. And I was away of my phone like 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, keeping phone away is not impossible, but actually I discovered that I'm pretty locked to the phone, because I can't use WhatsApp business or the normal WhatsApp application and more applications from the from my laptop. And also my Gmail needs two-factor authentication if I wanted to change the device I'm working on. And I'm sure that there is so many cases where we are locked to the phone because of the two-factor authentication. But yes, there's some workaround solutions, like putting a virtual machine that pretend to be an Android device on your computer and doing a good backup for it. So that's it. I want to thank my colleague Aziz for his support, and I want to show some footages from the project. I did some compilation here. So for example, this is a live footage where you can see some logs. Those are the first trials. You can see here I have to navigate through the numbers, and you can see here the ESP, and we've put lots of tabs here. Yes, so you can see here some of the first trials. We put the webcam here, just capturing the snapshots. And you can see here a footage. This is real footage, but actually we just made this out just to show the case where the navigation goes to the edit bar and then choices entered. So this is a failure example. We can jump on to another. Yeah, you can imagine that after 7,000 trials, some of the trials was successful. So we've navigated here, entered the correct password, and the phone was opened like this. Yes. I have another footage here for screencast of the some of the parts I want to show, like contours, fine-tuning. Actually, I in the computer vision, I have to get every single one of those contours, and instead of just do some machine learning to teach the application that this number is 1 or 2, 4 or 9, I've just did a small mapping. So you can see here a mapping that I have told him the application that contour 0 is number 0, contour 1 is number 9, contour 7 is number 3, contour 10 is the edit bar, etc. So this is one of the manual work I did to overcome more implementation and more code. And you can see here when I navigate through the numbers, you got like a bright light here, and once I got bright light in contour 3, so as the mapping says, actually this mapping is wrong and later I've fixed it. So contour 3 means 9, so the application knows that this bright part is number 9 and the tab reached number 9. So this was a part of the feedback, and you can see here the part gets very bright when you reach it. So that allowed me to do the feedback loop here. So this is a real life footage with logs. We can see here, okay. So you can see here, I'm trying to send number 5134, and I was logging everything. So you can see here, I've sent number 5 to the WebSocket, number 1, number 3, number 4, and I was trying to catch some exceptions, like here we have an exception after entering the numbers seems to be still on edit bar, because the normal behavior is to overcome the edit bar. Yeah, I will leave you with this footage. You can see here when we did edge detection with dilation, so it's becoming like more robust objects. And here you can see the contours over objects. Here you can see the contours also. Okay, and finally I want to show you a successful lock here. So as you can see here, there's several steps, and I've tried to keep them all. So this is the edge detection screen. and this is the final one. First we do calibration, so I'm just tuning actually the brightness, and I've used a simple algorithm for the tuning to compare the least bright and the max bright on each element, and to get the average of them. So it's like a threshold. Once you get over the threshold, then it's bright, and when you get below the threshold, then it's dark. So I can see here, after getting from number 1, jumping to the edit bar now and entering the numbers in the choice. So it's an example of 5138, and it's open. Okay, thank you. I have prepared a documentation on Obsidian I can share with you. So I've put the documentation here in documentation script, and I've tried to be detailed here, and also I have shared the project on GitHub, so you can find it here. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.